Houston, we are go for launch in T-minus 30 seconds.
Every day I become a better operator, whatever it is, and it happens. Why? Because I don't take time off.
We are green on all engines, sir.
I only knew one way, and I knew the right way.
Initiating launch countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Booster ignition.
The Service Rocket Podcast has good liftoff. Welcome to the Service Rocket Podcast, hosted by Victor, the Rocket Man Rancour. Please enjoy the ride.
All right, welcome to Service Rocket Podcast, episode number 11. Today's got an exciting guest, and I brought him on for you guys, right? So a lot of you guys out there have asked me, hey, how do I fix my business credit? How do I fix my personal credit? So I said, you know what? I'm going to bring on the GOAT himself, Michael Ayala. He's a credit repair specialist, not only in business, but also in personal credit. Michael, welcome to the podcast, man.
How's it going? Thanks for having me here. Excited to be here. Credit repair. Credit's extremely important. It's super crucial nowadays. I mean, to leverage that, you can open businesses, buy homes, buy cars, get credit cards at low rates, which nowadays with rates rising, it's crucial to have.
You know what? And if you really look at credit, man, it's a tax on the dumb, right? Like if you can't get your credit right, you're just going to get taxed the rest of your life. I mean, do you have that conversation with people? Because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't need my credit, or I don't, my credit's decent. But can you kind of talk about what the difference between a 680 credit score and an 800 credit score does to not only your personal finance, but everything in your life, pretty much?
Sure, absolutely. And as far as 680 and then above, like a 720, which you're in the they'll call it like a decent or a good category versus an excellent category. I mean, the difference of those percentage rates can save you, on a home, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands in the life of the loan for your home. So all that money that you are wasting essentially in interest rate that's going into the bank could be going into your pocket and obviously creating more wealth for you by being able to use that for future investments, whether it be other investment properties or businesses, or leveraging that money to get more capital to expand current businesses that you might have.
Yeah, and obviously there's personal credit aspect, and a lot of the guys that follow this podcast or listen to it, they're business owners, right? And I think this is one of the hard things. You're starting out a business without any business credit. Obviously, if you're starting a new LLC, stuff like that, it's difficult, right? I went through it, and when I started out my business, I never ran a business. I didn't know shit about business credit. I had decent personal credit, but as soon as I got my business, I got to start buying trucks and all this stuff, and it started beating up my personal credit too, because I'm personal guaranteeing all this stuff. I've heard like if you can get LLC, seasoned LLC. So what's the difference between getting a brand new LLC and having one that's already been intact for a couple of years? Like when's a breaking point to where your credit, it allows you to get better credit?
Sure. So, and I guess the first point of that is, obviously starting a business, they're going to use your personal credit. It's kind of how it works. And so having your personal credit be, at its top is important in order for you to get the business credit, because they're going to be running that first. Eventually down the road, obviously you'll be able to, there's loans that you don't need a guarantor and you don't need to guarantee it from your personal side. But certainly at the start, so before you even get the LLC, having your personal credit situated to where you got great credit score, and then you're able to get credit cards for the business. And then obviously from there, you'll be able to build your business credit and get loans and just based off of the business financials.
I think that's one thing people all the time like, well, what would you give me a pointer if I'm going to start my business? And I'm like, dude, if you're going to start a business, make sure your credit's right, because it's going to make not only your personal life difficult, but it's going to make your entire life difficult, because you're not able to get less expensive loans, so you're going to end up paying a tax on that. And you're not going to be able to get the trucks that you want. You're not going to be able to do the things that are going to be able to grow your business. And I went through it. Like I had to. When I first started my business, I didn't know where to get capital. I was never a business person. I didn't know this shit. So I ended up having to take out shitty loans at high interest rates, quick paybacks, and then my cash flow is getting screwed up. And it all stemmed back to not having all these things in order in the beginning. So obviously, having credit's important, but dude, what if you fuck it up? Like if people do, I I didn't grow up. I think that's one of the biggest failures of school. They don't teach you about personal finance. They don't teach you about credit cards. They don't teach you about taxes. So I remember being a kid getting out of high school, getting my first credit card, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, let's go fucking spend that shit, right? So tell me a little bit about that. Like, obviously, once you fuck it up, it's like I feel like you have like this target on your back the rest of your life. Is that the case, or is it kind of one of those things where you can clear it up?
And that's most people, because like you just mentioned, nobody's really taught this in school. So most people think, yeah, I have to wait, whether it's 7 years for a collection or a charge off or a repossession, or 10 years for a bankruptcy on the report. They think, oh my God, I'm pretty much just going to be, I have to wait this out. And absolutely, that's not the case. And that's kind of where I come in, and I'm able to go in and remove every negative item off of a credit report, and almost give you basically a clean slate and a fresh start all over again. So you can, obviously I'll give you the knowledge as well on how to properly use your credit, and how to leverage it to whether open LLCs and start a business. But yeah, removing every negative item off of a credit report, so that everyone thinks, yeah, you're going to be stuck with this for 7 to 10 years on your report. And that's what I do all day, every day. Most of my clients are like going to be first-time home buyers, and they have collections or repossessions. They've racked up so many inquiries because they keep trying to apply over and over and over, and they keep getting denied from bank to bank to bank. That's my job, is to wipe all those things away so that they can, have a fresh start, clean slate, and be able to go in and get approved this time.
So when you're talking about wiping them clean, are you wiping out all history, like even good and bad, or is it only you're able to isolate that? Because obviously, it sounds too good to be true, right? Like, you just make my shit disappear. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna run up a credit card tomorrow. We'll figure this out.
So definitely not removing anything that's positive. So any open trade lines that don't have any negative remarks, which would be a late payment, or whether it's not in a collection or a delinquent phase to where it's going to go into a collection. We want to leave those trade lines open, because basically having the most years, 10 plus years in positive payment history on a trade line will get you into the highest category of excellent in that specific category. So we're only moving every negative item that's, again, whether it's eviction, child support, student loans, collections, charge-offs, inquiries. Every negative item, we leave all the positive items, trade lines that are on your report there, and then of course we can just add on to that as well, to assist at the beginning. If, say, I'm wiping the whole report because they weren't able to, all their cards went into collections or charge-offs, now they don't have a single open trade line, and I'm literally completely wiping the slate clean as if they're 15 in high school and going to apply for a brand new credit card. We can also, I am able to add authorized users onto their account, so then that can give them that boost in score, and then they can apply for cards and then slowly just build up their own credit for the rest of their life.
Well, make sure you guys are paying your damn child support, dude. You shouldn't be wiping that shit off, dude. Come on, man. You made them kids. You better be paying that shit. So I ain't gonna let you motherfuckers off. I'll tell you that much. Pay your bills. So obviously, you get in that situation. I feel like a lot of people, like, they're scared to talk about it. I think that's something that you run into that a lot. I feel like, dude, it's embarrassing to come to you and say, dude, my shit's fucked.
Absolutely. I get that all the time. And I mean, it's a sensitive subject. I mean, most people, I'm going over financials. So I'm going over, I pull up their report, and it's got, hey, if I see all their open trade lines that are still good right now, and then a list of collections, but their good trade lines are maxed out on their cards. So clearly, financially, they're just not responsible, or haven't been taught how to properly use their credit, or how to
They know how to
balance
use that shit, dog. They know how to use it. I'll tell you what, they fucking know how to use it better than us.
But absolutely, it is a sensitive subject. But I make sure that every client is taken care of. All their information is going to be protected. But obviously, explaining the outcome of, say, hey, well, you're at a 500 credit score. Don't worry, I'm gonna give you a second chance. Essentially, we're gonna get you up into the 700s. And you'll be, on the road to financial freedom again.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, man. If you guys are in that situation, obviously he's gonna keep that shit on the hush. He don't know you guys, so if you guys reach out, just just do it. Because all you're doing, the longer you wait on it, the longer it's going to take for you to fix your shit. And the longer it takes you to fix your shit, the more money you're going to be spending on that. So it is important. So obviously, a lot of these guys that are watching, they got businesses already. They got their business credit built up. How long do you see like an average of a business being in business before they start getting like tier one kind of credit as far as a business? And what are things that you would suggest getting to start building that?
Yeah, so typically, I mean, like the 3 to 5 year range is kind of the average time frame for when we say, okay, you're able to go out and get large sums of loans against the business. And it certainly does take time to build up. And of course, opening certain trade lines, like there's an account called NAV. You can go in there, sign up for them. They're actually able. It's basically a company that builds your Duns and Barnes number up, and so I think it's like $40 a month. You can go in there, sign up for that. That's one way right away to get immediate start. I think it's called nav.com. And so
Now you heard them, go to nav.com, and it's about $40 a month.
$40, I think it's like $39.99 a month. They basically will put that's their trade line on your business, whatever business you have, and then that'll slowly over time build up and give you they'll start to analyze and do algorithms on your financials of what's coming in, and then basically build up loans for you that are designated toward your specific business, and it just pretty much gives you a whole rundown of your business.
So I know one thing that, and I got some backlash. I made a video yesterday, and people are like, well, you can't you're running your personal life through your business, right? So, and what I was saying in general is, okay, perfect. If I got a pickup truck that I'm paying on my personal credit and it's $100,000 truck, right? $100,000 truck. Well, I want to move that and obviously move that into my LLC. With stuff like that, people don't even think about it. They have their personal vehicles where they can put it in their LLC and it's going to bring down their DTI and their personal credit. How much of a benefit is that?
Huge, significant. And I wish I knew this years ago because anything you put into the business does not affect your personal credit. The only time it'll affect in a way your personal credit is say you're going to go buy out a $100,000 truck, put it under your business name. The only thing that's going to come off is the inquiry from your personal credit, which I can easily remove. But and then eventually down the road, there's certain things with loans that you won't even need a personal guarantee and it won't affect your personal credit. But yes, as far as going out to buy your first home, for say, the auto loan's going to be on the business, not affect your personal credit, and like I said, not affect your debt to income ratio, and you'll be able to get a little bit of a higher loan limit.
So one thing I'll tell you guys, and this is a little secret, okay? So if you're starting out your LLC, and some of you guys are working out of your house, okay? So if you're working out of your house, them wanting to give you money is not very often. Like they're gonna do a little digging on your business. So one thing you guys can do is create your LLC. Go get it's called a virtual office. You can go online, Google virtual office. You can actually go buy a virtual office, $50 to $100 a month. You can pick the location. You can pick what the office looks like if you really want to be bougie. And you can use that virtual office as your home office. Now it looks like you have a business, you have a storefront, you have all these things. And then at that point, I'd recommend having a Google My Business set up. Then these banks are actually going to want to work with you. But if you guys just go set up an LLC and you're working out of your house or whatever it is, you don't look like a legitimate business, so you're not going to be able to get the credit you need to. So little game for you guys. If you guys figure that out, it's going to make you guys look like a legitimate business and give you an opportunity to grow that credit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that just another virtual, that's great too. Then I found out actually not too long ago was like a postal annex because they have the actual address and then your mailbox number is just attached to that little address. So then again, you can use that on your Secretary of State. And then it's a dual purpose, I guess, in the sense of then you won't have your home address listed on a statewide website.
A lot of you guys contractors, your home office is literally listed on your shit. So now your customers, when they go Google you, they're Googling your home address. And I don't know, man, I had some pissed off customers. I don't need them to have my damn home address. So even if you guys aren't looking to do this, I suggest doing this, but it's just going to make, you guys can literally pick what the office looks like. They'll be able to go to Google and see this beautiful office and think it's yours. So it's going to make you look bigger than you are anyways, especially for you small guys starting out. I would recommend that highly, but it's going to allow you to actually look like legit business and start being able to get credit on that business. So obviously you've been doing this for a while, man. And what is the normal? So say I got my shit's just fucked. Like I got fucked up credit, right? And I come to you and I said, Mike, dude, this is what I got. And they're always gonna say I got like a 680, but it's like a 520. Okay, I'm not too bad. I get customers all the time. So in my space, we go to customers' homes, we go to finance them, and they got bad credit, right? And then they always say, well, I went to what's the one that everybody goes to, the cheap. Well, no, the website, the Credit Karma. My Credit Karma said I'm fucking 680, dude, and you're telling me I'm a 560. What's going on? Talk about that a little bit. So, what is Credit Karma going? What credit report are they pulling? Because I think it's like obviously I've been in the home trying to sell. I feel like they're pulling some bullshit. Like just like here's a fucking hold on, yeah.
And that was probably one of the quickest things I picked up, and I tell every client because some of them come up and they like live by Credit Karma, and I'm like, listen, Credit Karma is absolute trash. So they don't even. I've had clients, they tell me they swear by it. I go, okay, look, tell you what, I'll run your report. I'll even give you a huge discount if it's what you're telling me, because I already know it's not going to be. And I had one client actually last week. They swore by Credit Karma. They go, yeah, I only have 2 collections, and my score is like a 616. I said, okay, well, we go and pull it. Well, yeah, it's like a 530. They had like 7 other collections on top of what they had, and I think they had over 54, I think it was 54 inquiries on the report, and Credit Karma didn't have any of that in there. So Credit Karma, I definitely stray away from it. I mean, it's just a rough estimate. They don't actually have specifically what's on your report.
Well, I know that there's obviously there's different types of credit too. So you want to kind of elaborate on it. Obviously there's different, like going to get a car is different than getting credit cards, stuff like that. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So like auto and personal credit. Your auto, what it goes on, if you get it personally through your personal, not a business. Auto loan's going to go on your personal credit report, and then the debt that you owe for the loan isn't counted toward your credit utilization. What's counted on there on that specific trade line is just the years it's going to be put on as a brand new trade line, and so but it's affected points wise toward your score. It does drop it a little bit because you're getting a brand new trade line that's 1 month old once it's put on, so it'll lower your average years of history. But as far as the debt, if you go to apply for a home loan or whatever, they're not using that or your credit utilization is not affected by that loan. And then as far as, but if you miss a late payment, I mean, you're looking at 50 to 70 point drop for just one late payment. So it's imperative that you make your payments on time, and because that can have a huge impact.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. I had it happen to me where I have so many credit cards, so many different things, so many different moving pieces, and I had a credit card that I literally owed like $20 on, and I didn't have it set up on auto pay or whatever. And they didn't call me, they didn't take shit. They just fucking boom, hit me with it, and it dropped. All of a sudden, I woke up one day and my credit score is down like 80 points. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened, right? And so shit happens. So I do suggest you guys at least put minimum auto payment shit on just to be smart. I mean, I fucked up, and then I had to work my way through that and deal with it. But it's like, dude, just little things like that, how quickly you can lose it.
Yeah, it could take years to build up and instantly just drop. And I had a client a couple weeks ago, actually, didn't get similar situation. Totally forgot about the car. Like he's making all those other payments. He ended up having an $80 collection, and it just it killed his scores by like 100 points. And so it's just little things like that can have a huge impact. And unfortunately, it takes years to build that back up again. Without someone like me.
And so something like that does happen. So say someone comes in with some freaking minor bullshit like that. What is like the process in that? Like how long is it going to take to flip that?
Yeah. So I mean, typical average time frame. So I have 2 separate categories. I got collections, student loans, medical bills, charge-offs, inquiries. Average time frame is about 2 to 3 months. I've seen it happen a lot quicker. It all depends on the creditor. There's a lot of different variables on why things, whether the bureaus are responding fast or just the balance that is with that specific trade line that they owe. But average time frame is about 2 to 3 months. And so, like, just a process with me from day that you start. My first update is 21 days, and then it's once every 30 days after that until completion. I totally I've had clients be completely done in the first 21 days. And then, of course, the second category, which is a little bit more difficult of items to remove, the bankruptcies, the evictions, the repossessions, and the child support. Average time frame is like 4 to 6 months. I mean, longest I've ever had a client was 7 months, and that's because they had multiple bankruptcies. They had over 6 figures in collections and credit card debt. So,
Call them out.
But
let me see what that is. Tell me. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, typical time frame is about 2 to 3 months. And each time we're having an update, the scores are going up. The client will see it, and totally, I mean, it's every time we have an update, there's proof that I'm removing items and the scores are going up. And so then eventually, they'll be good to go and have a clean slate again.
Well, I mean, it's awesome, man. Like, that's literally can change someone's entire life. And I think we had a conversation on Instagram. We were talking about, you're like, oh, I went to this conference, right? Went to the conference, and the guys on stage had fucked up credit. And you would think, like, these guys are doing well, they're balling out, and you'd be surprised. A lot of these guys, they put a lot of money, a lot of stuff on credit and on debt and everything like that. So you want to kind of talk a little bit about, managing credit lines, making sure you're not overspending, making sure that you're making payments. What is the best route to go on that?
Yeah, best route to go. So as far as credit cards go, I tell all my clients, try to be below 20% of your utilization rate of your credit limit. Anything over that can have as much as a 30% impact on your score. If you can pay your cards off every month, that's the most optimal to have. You'll have the highest scores with however old your trade lines are. As far as the utilization goes, I mean, yeah, I've had clients to where they had 2 credit cards. I completely wiped their credit. They were still sitting at like a 620 score. I told them, hey, pay your cards off. You'll go get approved for this home loan. I'll send you to a lender. They paid off their cards to 0 balance. They ended up jumping up like 95 points. So it can be a huge factor in decreasing. I mean, your score is going to fluctuate based on how much you're putting on your cards. But if you can every month, pay them off, and then pay them off by the 8th of the month, because the bureaus report between the 12th and the 16th every month. So then it'll reflect your paid off balance if you do that by the 8th.
So you heard them. Every the 8th of the month, set that shit in your calendar. Pay off your credit cards. So for me, obviously we use credit cards for everything. Without credit cards, I wouldn't be able to run my business. And obviously, just the cash back stuff like that alone is I could pay someone's salary just in cash back, way more than that actually every year, because we use our credit card for everything. But it takes time, right? You want to build up that credit, and then once you get the credit built up, like, I can go use it. I can go spend $1 million. I can slide a card today for $1 million. That's just because we put the time, energy, effort into building up your credit. So you guys need to do that. And if you guys are scared, I don't use credit, dude, you're wild. Like, you have to use credit. And if the better your credit is, the lower that interest rate. And a lot of times, especially now, that credit interest rate on some of this stuff is beating inflation. So it's actually cheaper to go borrow that money than it is to to try to spend it yourself. So just be smart with everything that you're doing. Make sure that you guys are taking care of your bills. But if your shit is messed up, you need to hit up my boy Mike. He's gonna get you guys fixed up really quick. Like you said, 3 to 6 months, you guys can be in a totally different space than you are now. Some of you guys less than that. And guess what? Now you can afford to go do cool shit. You can afford to go to conferences. A lot of these guys I can't afford it. And yeah, because you don't have a business credit card. You should have a credit card where you can be able to charge it right away, get cash back, stuff like that. So anything else you want to cover that you guys should focus on? Or
I mean, I just to reiterate that, yeah, don't be afraid to start. I know most people, again, we've talked about it's a sensitive subject, but the longer you wait, the longer your credit it's not going to get improved by you waiting or being shy to come forward and fix it. The quicker you do, the further you're going to get in life. You can, credit is just so important to, leverage it against other businesses. Obviously, get those lower interest rates. Rates continue to rise, and we don't know what's going to happen, but having that great credit is going to get you at least the best possible rate at the time.
Right now, with everything we're going into, you should try to get your credit limit up as much as you possibly can. You need to have money. You need to be in a good position because we're going to have an opportunity of a lifetime. Everybody I talk to, everybody I know, over the next 6 to 18 months, the entire world's going to be flipped up on the side of its head. And we're going to have a huge opportunity, but you can have this big opportunity, but you can't go take that opportunity because you didn't get your credit fixed today. So hit up my boy Mike. How can they reach you? What's your Instagram handle?
At the Michael Ayala.
Awesome. Go follow this guy on Instagram. Hit him up. Well, do you have a website or anything like that?
Yeah, it's 5diamondcredit.com. So www.5diamondcredit.com.
Number 5 or
letter.
letter 5, F-I-V, diamondcredit.com. Hit up my boy Mike. He'll get your shit fixed. No one needs to know about it. We can get you guys right. So hope this episode helped you guys a lot. If you guys got your credit messed up, Mike's the guy to do it. He's going to be in Vegas too, so this podcast should hit on Monday. If you guys hear this podcast, you want to see Mike in Vegas, go up and talk to him. Got questions, reach out to him. Any other things you want to add, Mike?
That's it. Don't be afraid. Just come check out my website. You can schedule a calendar with me or send me a DM on Instagram, and we'll get you taken care of.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Service Rocket Podcast, episode number 11. It was a pleasure. I'll see you guys in Vegas this week, October 20th through 22nd, servicerocketnetwork.com if you guys haven't got your tickets yet. Thanks.